But I wanted to shift a little bit, Will, to some work the ACLJ is doing. I saw this, come across yesterday and thought we got to make sure we talk about this on the air, because these are the situations where the ACLJ gets involved. You may hear about us in Washington, D.C. and think, okay, these guys, they've represented presidents of the United States with their legal battles. But we're also talking about churches that are meeting in California on the beach. They've been doing it for decades and, of course, are running into some trouble right now. And CeCe Hiles joining us right now. And CeCe, you filed in this or submitted in this. And we wanted to kind of get a bit of a backstory and history of this specific instance, because people are seeing it on social media. They're starting to see this story pop up, and it is an ACLJ case.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget that religious discrimination still happens in the United States. And this is a case in California, in Redondo Beach. There has been a church that has met on the beach, public forum, for 18 years. And just this year, the church receives notice when they're filling out their annual permit that they get notice from the Los Angeles Department of Beaches and Harbors that, guess what? This year, the department has decided that they're going to limit groups that have religious activities. So only groups that take on religious activities, they're going to be limited to only 6 permits a year, not the annual permit like they used to have. Every weekend they would have service there. Yep. They are only limited that now they can only have 6 services per year. And again, this policy only applies to religious services, which is completely unconstitutional.
I have a lot of friends in California, and this is not uncommon, that a church was being held outside or in a public park or on a beach because, well, you have the weather really on your side for most of the time of the year. So, of course, instead of having to have a building or having to have any of that, and it's a great outreach tool. But there are moments where they get shut down, and this happens, and the ACLJ can get involved. And look, this is someone we believe just came through our website, reached out and said, hey, I'm having problems. You may hear us talk about that all the time on aclj.org/help and wonder, does that even happen? Do people do it? They do it every day. And there are moments like this where we get to get involved and really represent, because when you look at it, this is purely religious discrimination. It's not even close.
Well,
right.
And Logan, I think one point here is that, is there a coincidence that it happened this year after 18 years? It's what we've warned you about, is that these localities that have a lot of power are going to push back against a Christian and conservative swing in the national body politic. And you're going to see things like this where there's no problem for 18 years, but then all of a sudden, it's not everybody. It's not like we're limiting this. And the places that you can get that permit, there's only 4 locations now, not even the one that they had been at. And it shows a lot of things. It shows a misunderstanding of ministry by these city officials, and that they are specifically wanting to target a church. One of our Rumble ranters, Comfort, has actually attended this church, she said.
Oh, wow, that's great.
The church on the beach.
We've learned, though, church on the beach, yeah, for sure. You've probably seen them. What's interesting, though, with this one in particular, is these were not people causing problems.
Right.
These were not distraction.
Right.
You could say I could see how a police officer and a pro-life activist on the street corner with bullhorn, how they could have some tension.
Yeah.
But this is a church service, been held for 19 years. They've been accommodating in the past. If, hey, we need to use the beach this week for, like you said, a 5K or something like that, no problems. This is not anything that they're having issues with. But of course, because it is religious, or in this case, a Christian moment, that's happening every week, we're going to figure out not how to shut it down completely, but to essentially shut down your church when it is church on the beach.
Yeah, and it's funny because over the phone, our client was told that the county views churches as not needing the beach because churches can meet in a building. Well, here's the problem with that is that's not what the Constitution requires.
No.
It's unlawful to treat religious groups differently than non-religious groups with regard to access to public forums. It doesn't have anything.
It says they could meet in a building.
On the phone, our client was literally told that, hey, we've decided that churches don't need access to the beach because they can actually meet in a building. So that is where you just have misinformation, disinformation, and we're hopeful. We sent off a demand letter. We've given them a time to respond. If they don't, don't, we will pursue this in court because this is an absolute, on its face, unconstitutional change to this permit.
You wonder some of the times who these people are that make these statements. Like, well, they could meet in a building, so therefore they don't need the beach. They don't need public land.
But you're glad they say these things because then, Cece, you send the demand letter. And because of all of you that support the ACLJ, we're able to do this for this church at no cost.
That's right.
They get a very strong legal team. They get Cece Heil signing the letter, going out. But if they don't respond, now we have some backup. If we have to take this to court, it's like, here's exactly how it's discrimination.
Right, absolutely. That statement is golden because we can say, look, this is just a misconception. Clearly, let's just try to fix it.
Let's fix it.
Quickly fix it.
I mean, I'm looking at one of the comments. One guy said, hey, I was baptized at Pirates Cove for Calvary Chapel. Like, think about that when there's thousands. How many thousands of people have you seen do that? Of course, if they come in and go, you know what, guys, you've been doing this for decades, but I don't think so because it's religious.
Well, first of all, let me just say that Beach Church is so important in Southern California. So thank you for getting involved. It's an amazing idea. It works. And, the beaches are public access. So there should be no reason why people can't gather on a Sunday and praise and worship and hear someone speak. It's what we do on the beach is socialize with people in our community. So thank you for getting involved. ACLJ is always at the forefront, and I love it. The beach that's right next to me, so that's great.
We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned to provide you with the best tools available to partner with us at the ACLJ. You can watch the daily Secular program, sign the petitions, customize your ACLJ membership experience, donate with the click of a button, and receive up-to-the-minute critical updates that the mainstream media can't censor. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to your phone's app store, search ACLJ, and click install. It's that simple.